I was waiting to press record till you got here. Hello, my love.
How you doing? All right.
Right. Wow. Where are you?
I'm in my lovely friend Jane's place up in Lincolnshire. I often come up and stay here. It's a magical place. She lives here with her friend Louise, whose land it is, and yeah, they breed dogs up here and all sorts. So you'd love it.
What tell you, I need to meet her because you talk about her all the time. So I would love to meet her. Yeah. Lovely to see you, AJ, Andrew James.
Yeah, I'll get her first named a lot now. Cheers, Diana.
So I'm just going to do the introduction. I just talked about the stand in the park when Mary came over to Salisbury and met you there, and
Mm,
then said about me getting in touch with you, and then you came over to Linda's that weekend. I mean, just
yeah, seems like a few weeks ago, doesn't it?
it was probably like 2.5 years ago, most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
Oh.
going to introduce Andrew James now. An introduction that I never thought I would be doing. I had no idea that when I speak to him, what I'm speaking to. So, Andrew James was a soldier deployed in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is the planetary third eye. He is a high priest of Arcturus on the Council of Arcturus, high priest in Mu civilization before Atlantis and Lemuria, serves as one of the 88 beings who work with the Intergalactic Council. He is currently serving on the Higher Council for Earth and on the Council for Saturn and on the Council of Sirius and the Council of Orion. So he's quite busy.
Yeah, so I'd officially like to thank Diana in proving the point that men can actually be in more than one place and do more than one thing at once.
So AJ has leave of absence from those roles during this lifetime to go back after this lifetime, where he is a high priest in Jupiter, and he stepped forward in this lifetime on the 22nd of October to anchor the codes of Jupiter into the planet. This means he is opening the planet and anchoring the portal into Afghanistan for abundance consciousness for humanity, expansion, psychic awareness, and peace. He will anchor the codes for as long as possible, raising the frequency. My gosh, you're going to be busy.
Yeah, just another day's work. Just get up in the morning, just bring in loads of 11-dimensional frequency, and then go and hang out with some people as you do. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, Jackie. If I'm honest, has been, I carry it more with like a lot of honor, and I think that, but more than anything else, and pride. And there's I try not to have any ego attachment to it because I don't need to, because I kind of had an inner like knowing for a long time that there's something there, and I've always said to, like, my Sam and other people, like, I just don't feel like I'm kind of from here or anywhere, if you know what I mean. I always feel lost. Like I've moved around the world, never stayed anywhere. Like always just been like dotting off here, there, and everywhere. UK, Germany, Australia. Obviously, you get spending large portions of the years away in foreign countries as well. And I've just been so heavily connected to outside and the stars all the time. I just never quite felt right. Do you know what I mean? But it was never such a strong knowing as it's been more so in the last year.
Yeah.
So I always had those questions, and I've obviously had a lot of communication with Diana. And it all came about really like to this level when it was about 4 weeks ago. I was in my garden just doing the usual star protocol, which I owe a lot to like Matt for, getting me into a good year and a half ago now. And and I've done so every, most nights, clear nights, has always been outside, not wanting to just be anywhere else really. And yeah, I was kind of just doing that, and I could see something like my 12 o'clock position, but really low. It wasn't like it was, you can spot a plane in a mile, obviously, as you know in the sky, but it was like even lower than that. And could
Yeah.
see it coming towards me, and I was like, what the hell was that? And it literally came over me, and I could see these two streaking lines come towards me first, and then this craft came right over me, but it was like it was really low. I mean, I'm talking like 1,500 foot, if that, and you could see its plasma field around it, and it like went straight over me, and I felt like this kind of like big rush in my heart space, just go like this, and I was just sat there like whoa, like that, and I was like, I've got no one to share it with. We quickly run in the house, like run up to Sam. I was like, this just happened, blah blah blah. She's like, wow, and I was like texting Matt, I text Brad, my Canadian veteran friend, and he just texted me back and went, wait till you hear about the Arcturians. And I was like, what's that supposed to mean? And then I wake up the next morning to an email from the Venus twins in Australia, who they do a lot of galactic channeling and stuff like that for people and readings and stuff, just off their own back. Like I didn't ask them to or anything. And they just done one, emailed me and said, we really need to get you on a Zoom. I was like, okay. So like kind of did it. And they told me that I was a high priest of Arcturus and what my role here is and all this kind of stuff. And even explained that my children are as well. You know, and they've got like roles and all this kind of stuff, which I kind of can see now because of the things that have happened for them in the last 2 months. And they're really like massive. They stand out like sore thumbs and they're amongst their peers. And yeah, and it just kind of it evolved from there. So then obviously I sent that video that the Venus twins did to Diana, and I just said, wow, I've just like received this. um, and they also confirmed as well that my grandfather, who you know I'm extremely close to, I'm like a spitting image of, and
Yeah.
he was also high priest of Arcturus on the council, and he reluctantly apparently come to Earth to carry out his duties, obviously World War II and this that, and the other, but to have a heart-to-heart connection with me, so that I would always have that human heart-to-heart connection.
I'm just goose completely at that. That's the truth.
And it's just like, do you know what I mean? And you know what my relationship with my granddad's like anyway, you know, it's just phenomenal. And
Yeah.
it's just, there's so many amazing stories around that. And yeah, and you know, so to hear that was really quite heartwarming as well. And he passed away before they like, you know, started rolling out the new medicine as
Yeah.
well. So it was all like divine timing. And I think in his funeral, like we could only have 20 people there, and I was stood there going like, this guy's like an absolute legend. You know, hundreds of people would have come, and I was like, my family were all like crying in masks and that while the Padres reading stuff out, not wearing one. I was just like, and that's when I got really kind of hardcore on the podcast and really going at it. It was actually his actual funeral that really spurred that on.
Good.
So yeah, so I received all this information. I said to Diana, she watched it, and she was like, "Yeah, I can, you know, absolutely confirm that." And then she said, "Well, let's go for a birthday lunch before I go to Portugal." So I was like, "Happy days." So I took her for a lunch at the Bear of Burton, highly recommended. Love that place now. And yeah, we had a really good long chat about it all. And I said about Sam was maybe going to have one, a reading as well. And then we went to, she then messaged me the next day after that and said, like, during her meditations with the Intergalactic Council, they said that I need to be the person to bring in the third eye frequencies. Which makes, when I read that, I wasn't that surprised either, because like physically, I've spoken about it to a lot of people. Like my body has 100% been prepared for this for like the last year at least, because even as I'm talking to you now, like my third eye's just going wow, 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 like a little beacon. So it's kind of obviously being prepared to be able to carry this out, you know, to be able to hold that kind of frequency. And we had a really good chat, and she had other meditations that said I had 2 layers of the 7. So we've got 7 layers in the third eye that mean different things. You've got like abundance consciousness, you've got claircognizance and stuff like that. And they were actually the 2 things that had slight blockages, she was told. So I had to go meet her again before I went to Portugal, this time with Sam. And yeah, I was being worked on basically whilst I was in conversation. It was like pretty cool.
Amazing.
I was having this great food, but at the same time I sat there and all I could feel on my head was it was like this. And I was just like, I can't even believe it. I've been having these conversations still. You know, it's amazing, but it's very, I'm very honored with it all. You know, like I'm very humble because
Yes.
I just like, especially, you know, the whole part of it, like my granddad, myself, like my kids, just, you know, being in the military. I'm the oldest of four boys. You know, like all that kind of leadership stuff I've always done throughout my entire life, basically. Kind of always stepped up, gone to Sierra Leone to do charity work off my own back. Like, you know, it all makes sense. So to be in this role in this capacity, do you know what I mean? It's just like I just want to share it with everybody to be a part of, because everybody who I've ever been in contact with, including you guys in Stand in the Park, the people in my online communities, people who do my courses, all this kind of stuff. I want to share it with all of them people, because it's all them. We're all a fractal part of the same one big soul. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just because you hear terms like high priest and, you know, all galactic councils and this, that, and the other, like as in human form, I'm exactly the same as everybody else. Do you know what I mean? It's, you know, and I always say that in my talks, that I am you and you are me.
Yes.
In this reality that we're creating for each other.
Yeah.
We're just people are just fulfilling their roles in the most amazing ways. Like, you know, you've been living your role for a good couple of years, you know, and hence why you step forward again to do this, get all five of us on a podcast every day. And
it just worked out so beautifully. So, like, I haven't really explained, if anyone's just watching this for a first time, but each day this week at 12 o'clock, I'm speaking to the five main speakers that will be in Portugal on October the 22nd of this year. And AJ's just explained like the surprise of it to him, because like to start with, it really was only going to be Adrian and Diana mainly. Then Tim and Mia Kafkios were going to be there to hold the energy. And then you were brought in for this, which is just truly incredible. So yeah, and then I asked
and then look at Tim, you know, he's been prepared for this for like a good year, and like he's been very aware of himself and everything around us since like the 90s, you know, and this is how crazy this is. And this is why I think it's important that, you know, there's, you know, people in communities all across the country and the world, you know, who often carry remarks as in like, oh, I've been awake or whatever for like 20 years and blah blah blah. There's no time in any of this, because it's a concept in the first place. You know, people have had to learn the lessons that they've needed for now. And I often say that everything we've done up until this point, all the hardships, the lessons, the traumas, the losses, the wins, the successes, that's all our basic training for now. You know, you don't need to have been a soldier or in the military to have had that basic training, basic training. All of us, you know, have had our basic training, because funnily enough, there's 8 billion universes happening at every one time on this planet, you know, and that's what people really need to understand. And that's where the perspective of everything else that comes into it's so important. And that, and as these frequencies that we're all experiencing right now, you know, we're rapidly going through them, especially physically and spiritually in a lot of cases, and galactically. You know, I had a call this morning with the community people from a breathwork session, and people are like literally connecting with ETs in the astral plane and that now. You know, and it's a year ago we wouldn't be having that conversation. That's how much is rapidly ramped up. So yeah, everything that's gearing towards this event on the 22nd is not just about 5 people on a stage. It's about the whole collective. You know, that's going to be very absolutely more part of it than I guess we are. You know, we've got our roles to play on the day, but everyone else is part of it for the entire lot, and bringing the energy in like everywhere. It's just that certain people, there's just people that need to fulfill these roles. You know, there's got to be some people that does it, and that's the beauty of it, and that's what I love about everything I do, what you do. You know, from a communal level.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's like, you know, we talk about down. I was literally having a chat with Jane about it earlier. I was like, I wasn't told in essence to build my courses and do my talks and stuff like that. But actually I was. They were just downloads, like, think this is what you need to do, because then it then creates that bridge between human, you know, going through deep awakening, using meditation, breath work, connecting them to star family, what that actually means, then going into the deep, like who we are, and you know, and stuff like that, and the gratitude side of things, and then obviously then into the galactic side of like who we are kind of galactically, where we're from, what we're about, and what we've done before and things like that, you know, and our roles and stuff.
Yeah.
So and you know, I'm not the only person doing this. There's obviously people like myself all around the world. You know, it's amazing, and it's like it's just multiple people creating that bridge between human and you know what we're truly about galactically.
Brilliant. Unbelievable, really, how it's all just flowed for you, really flowed into,
Yeah, and I
and you've
don't see it
just
as a
gone
job.
with it.
Yeah, but and that's what I mean. I don't see it as a job whatsoever.
No,
You know, and
no,
that's
you've
why.
always said that.
Yeah, and I literally, I'm just in like with my talks, I love it. You know, and you see all these people there, you create high energy, and you know, if anything, you're just bringing thousands of people together, which is what's needed because we've all been massively disconnected, haven't we?
Absolutely, massively. Yeah,
You know, from ourselves and collectively as communities, they've all been broken down, and
yeah.
this is why I've been really trying hard to show people that the last 3 years has been a giant military sting operation to awaken humanity to its like sovereign power individually, collectively, and rebuild all our communities and create abundance.
It sounds amazing, doesn't it? Really, and
Mm.
this is going to be such a boost. I've heard from 2 people today that have got really big events on that day as well, which is,
Mm.
and now they're aware of this event and they can bring that energy into it as well, which it was already
Oh,
a good
yeah,
energy,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
bringing that
massive.
energy to it. And then I'm going to try and get a hall. The 2 big halls that I know, Crossfield and Brockenhurst, are both full up that day, like because it's pretty
Mm.
short notice. But the lovely hall, Emery Down and Bank Village Hall near us, that
Mm.
is free, but obviously you could only comfortably really get 40 in there, do you think?
No, I'd say you get more if you're seated and stuff.
Yeah,
You get enough
yeah,
chairs. Yeah, definitely. I think you know, get as many people as possible. And that's what I'm trying to encourage. Like, I said to the guys this morning, you know, just we need to get one link, and then
okay.
it's an opportunity for our online community to come together and meet each other as
Yes,
well, and do the meditations all day,
yes,
all in one place. So that's what they're
yes.
really actually quite keen to do.
And that venue there is just the best. It's such a beautiful location. It's right in the heart of the middle of the New Forest, like,
Yeah,
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 beautiful. I think that is the one I'll go for then.
yeah. And it's the venue actually in Australia, wait, Australia, sorry, is in Portugal is fantastic. So because on the 7th, same day me and Diana share a birthday, don't we? I,
Yes.
yeah,
Diana.
we recorded a great video collectively, and I was actually at the hotel where it's going to be held in Portugal, so that people could get a real feel for it.
Marvelous.
Yeah, it's really nice space. So and I looked around the auditorium and that as well, and so you know that all the tickets for that sold out before I even like come onto
We
the
know
thing.
because I've got people asking me how they can get a
Mm,
ticket, people that are in the audience that are over in Portugal, and I thought it was full up. It is full up, definitely
mm.
sold out.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
definitely is. Yeah,
yeah.
but before I even got involved.
Yes, I'm just going to put my website name up instead of my name. I don't know why it keeps going back to my normal name, but I'll just show how you can link through to get a ticket. Ideally, obviously, if you can get along to Emery Down and Bank Village Hall, because that I will book that, but so we can do a collective. But of course, that will be limited with only say 40, 50 at the most, I think.
Mm.
But even so, it's £22 for the day or £11 for the meditation. And on, if I just show you,
I've just put it in the chat as well. Oh, where's that gone?
this is my page. So if it, like, there's my website, jackie-white.co.uk, and then you find Raise the Frequency of the World. Tom did this, so that it links through to the event, and then you buy either for the whole day, there's Diana, bless her, full virtual access, or merge with your monad meditation. And that's just in the afternoon, that's at £11, and the full day is 22. And
Mm.
Adrian, when I spoke with Adrian yesterday, he just explained, because there was a comment saying, why are we having to pay for the day?
Hmm.
But he said that energy, if you just give it out for free, the energy is a different energy.
100%. It's people don't, people forget that, and it's like I've done this so many times when you've done like 5 days free boot camps on stuff way before like all the COVID stuff happened, and yeah, you just it people don't put the energy into it because they haven't made an investment, and it doesn't necessarily have to be always financial, but unless you're stepping forward with a like a heartfelt from a heart space place, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Then you don't put that energy into it. And it's also like, it deters bots and trolls because at the end of the day, we've got to, that is a little bit of
yes,
an enemy, let's call it, that's out there.
yes,
So you got to like counter for that as well. Um, it's important that people kind of realize that it's not a cost and it's an investment. And the way I see it, I was saying to Adrian that I was like, if people kind of are complaining about it, you can spend 20 quid on a bottle of wine in a restaurant. Whereas
more
this is
than
like
that.
7.5 hours of all
Exactly.
these massive meditations, all this content, all these learnings, learning stuff from people like Diana Cooper that maybe you didn't know before and stuff like that. And it's you again, you spend more than that going to see a comedian for 2 hours.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
how you want to look at that. What do you want to get from it? The value. And if you don't see the value in this monumental event, then and it doesn't resonate with you, then it's not for you.
absolutely.
Um, I'm sure there's other things out there that might suit you, but this, in essence, is like Diane has repeatedly said, the biggest cosmic event since 2012 when the start of this actually started to happen. This shift.
Honestly, I just think it'd be phenomenal, phenomenal. And I'm really excited about it. So when I saw you were away, but I saw Diana on Friday on her, well, the day after her birthday, and we said that we do a online. So I didn't plan to do this all week, but it just seemed right when she said it. And then Tim agreed to do tomorrow. And then Mia, the only day she could have done it 12 o'clock was Friday. And that was the only day I had left. I mean,
Mm.
it was literally perfect. Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm so grateful that you've come on and done this with me today, AJ.
Absolutely, and it's like I said, this is so important, and like I said, I carry this role with honor, and just like I try to do in everything I do from a leadership space is like, it's not, and even when I do my talks, it's not like me projecting all this information onto you and you're supposed to like accept it as truth and all this kind of stuff. It is literally like getting people to raise their vibration massively so they can understand all of the information about themselves and what resonates with them and stuff like that. And this is what this is all about. And this is what bringing in this third eye energy will do to people en masse. Like everyone's going to receive this third eye energy to massively increase their consciousness, their intuition, their deeper knowings, the things that are needed just to take us all, humanity over the edge with that. And so all those veils drop, those belief systems that were triggering us and that we held onto dearly, which caused blockages, kind of dissolve away as well. So, and that's what's the great thing about this opportunity, I guess. Not just from my perspective, but from anybody who follows me, anybody who follows the other guys, Tim and Adrian and Mia and obviously Diana, they're all going to be a part of it. It's a shared gift.
Massive. It's massive. And I'm just so grateful that I can be a part of it in some way.
Mm.
What I was going to say is you've been through, in your human form, you've been through it a bit in the last few months in certain areas, not in
Mm.
every area. I'm just so pleased for you that you've been involved in this, that you've been brought into this, and that you found out what your role is. It's honestly, I'm really pleased for you.
Yeah, and it's again, I'm just kind of like embodying it all as well, and I'm just very relaxed about it all. But one thing it's done is like I've always been highly motivated. It's just motivated me even more, especially when I got a really in-depth reading from the Venus twins and that, and it was talking about like opening big healing centers in the south of England and stuff like that, which I've been actually talking about for about the last 6 months and planning. And then it was kind of
It's there, it's in the
mm,
virtual, it's just ready to be stepped into.
yeah, but and what I've been talking about creating this blueprint or bigger blueprint for the UK at least, or that anyone can actually use in different countries that brings all of these amazing projects together that people are doing, because there's so many people doing great things everywhere, isn't there? You know, you've got PHAs doing their things, you've got like individual doctors or naturalists or people with working with energy, you've got Oronocos, you've got all these amazing things happening all around the countries, all these different projects, but nothing kind of encapsulating together. So that's what myself and loads of people I've been kind of siding with on this are kind of working on, because that way it would help like the, you know, the micro economies in, say, a town like Lyndhurst, where you've got one or two or three amazing healers in the network there in the community, but they don't really have a big social reach. So that's, you know, but they do the most amazing work. So like we need to get people to these people, you know. So that's why I think creating this kind of larger blueprint which joins all these dots together will also naturally get them the awareness that they need and deserve as well. So they're almost like piggybacking all of my following and everybody else's following that we're bringing in, if you know what I mean. So then all these people get heard of. So yeah, and like I've been we've kind of put all these plans together the last 6 months, and then obviously it just, again, it all lines. So it's clearly like this is what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Honestly, thank you for today, AJ, and half an hour. So that's really lovely, just to let people know what this is about, and how important that date is. And I'm just delighted that you're going to be part of it.
Yeah, me too. And it's like I said, anybody and everybody can be a massive part of it. There's we're all one big united front here after, you know, experiencing the last 3 years in the way we have, and, you know, many different fashions. This is the grandest opportunity I can think of for everyone to come together en masse on the same day. Yes. You know, in their higher capacities than they were 3 years ago. You know, everyone's gone through a massive shift in some way or another. So for me, it's a no-brainer to make the most of that, and, you know, really bring in these energies. Try and do it collectively if you can. Get some family members, friends involved. Get your local communities, your online communities all together. Use it as an opportunity for that.
This talks that you've been doing has all been about letting people know how truly amazing they are, and how much more they are than they know.
Yes.
And this will really bring that out even more, won't it, to the fore, that people
100%.
really need to know how amazing, incredible they are. And not, when you hear that being said, to think, oh, I don't do this, I don't know. Know that you are absolutely incredible. If you're listening to this, then there's a reason you're listening to this.
Yeah. There's no accidents in the universe. Like, there's none. And you're absolutely right. Like, people, we've all been manipulated into believing we're just as much as how far we can see on the horizon, you know, and that's it, you know, and like we're never going to get out to space and blah blah blah, and obviously what we go through at school. So yeah, absolutely, my talks are very much all geared to raising people's vibration and consciousness and activating their third eye there and then, because a lot of people are leaving the talks now and they're just like, what the hell is happening in my head? And it's the same with people who come to see me with the Orinoco pods, because they're actually calibrated to the host. So people who come to mine receive a lot of third eye and crown sort of healing and activation, whereas like Krishan in Ringwind's now got them, and his is all about like healing and balancing of energy and, you know, equilibrium and stuff like that. So that's what's great about the talks. And I've been taking people outside to do Star Fan protocol when it's been clear as well, so I can have anywhere between 50 and 100 people all outside connecting to the Star family at one time as well. So it's like a multi-agenda talk that like activate people and connect people. And yeah, I mean, for some people it's like, what the hell have I just walked into? Especially some of the husbands that get dragged along by the ladies and that. They're just like, I can't believe what I've just witnessed. And that takes them a little while to process it. But again, it's all part of us knowing who we are, you know. And I try not to, well, I don't need to refer to all of this as a spiritual awakening. It's just, you know, I don't need to put pink fluffy words around anything. It's just you remembering who you are. It's just coming out, and it's like your soul's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, like just wanting to stretch and expand and attach, you know, tap into your quantum field where all the answers are to everything, you know, and it's just getting people to understand that and how that works, and you know how special every individual is, you know.
Yes, perfect. Honestly, thank you, AJ. Give my love to Jane, please, and I would love to speak with her.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm literally sat in her chair, like
I know, I can see.
she's my. I moved her fags because she literally is the oracle.
Oh, how lovely. Okay.
Yeah, so it's great, and it's a you know, magical place to come and spend time with people up here, and there's, you know, just amazing group of ladies. They got a group of ladies up here called the Goddesses, and they all get together, and we had a gathering here like about a month ago, and I was here, and I was the only guy, and I just had all these blonde ladies like surrounding me, and I was like, I sat here in this house going, it feels like that scene in The Lion King when Simba goes back to the pride and all the lionesses are like there, all these blonde ladies. It was like, whoa. But they're just, all they want to talk about is this, what we're discussing now, like the galactic stuff, and just how big we all are, like compared to what we've all been led to believe.
Yes. Yeah. Honestly, Adrian said to me yesterday, oh, I only want 5 minutes. I said, well, we got to do 10 at least. And we were probably on for 20 minutes. I said, I won't have this problem tomorrow. Anyway, wonderful to catch up with you, and I'll see you soon. Are you going to Sarum, Old Sarum, on the 24th?
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'll bring my green laser pen.
Fantastic.
And yeah, it's a 10-minute walk from my house.
Amazing. Well, I've not been there, but yeah, I said I'll go this time. So yeah, lovely. Thank you,
Jackie.
AJ.
Thank everyone for tuning in. Much love.
Thank you. Yeah, much love. Oh, there.